Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, and I want to talk about a contest that I want to run. And this is not going to be a contest where you just put your name into something and get a random prize. This is going to be a bit more fun than that. This is going to be a short story contest for Dark Potential. I've been getting tons of great feedback. We're getting geared up to do our Indiegogo.com fundraiser. I've almost got enough people who have committed to day one to cover the entire $10,000. Which is ridiculous. And just so you know, if we get above the $10,000, the sky's the limit. We get 20, 30, 40, 50,000, whatever we do, we're going to use it just to supercharge this thing and make more miniatures and get everything up and running that much quicker. So we'll post more about that soon. Anyways, I was thinking, I've been trying to now start working on developing a couple of the factions and the rules that go along with it. And I need some ideas for how the technology in the game is going to work. And what I mean by that is, with the Dark Potential, with the science behind it, basically people have figured out how to use dark matter to make dark elements, or to kind of interact with regular elements to then kind of modify the fundamental forces of the universe, such as gravity, electromagnetic forces, even nuclear forces and everything. And so I want to create some cool effects with this. I want this to be kind of the cool factor, that when people think of Dark Potential, they think of these neat things. Kind of like with Star Wars, you think of the Force. With 40K, I guess you think of, there's like the psychic powers that those do. With just all these different things kind of have their cool thing that makes the game really stand out and have a bit of flavor. Well, the Dark Potential manipulation is going to be what does it for Dark Potential, I hope. That's the idea, hence the name of the game is Dark Potential. And so we can draw on all sorts of different inspirations. Mass Effect has a cool thing with their bionics, so they can pick up guys, throw them around and all that kind of stuff. You've got the Force with Star Wars. All these things basically just manipulate the different forces of the environment. However, I don't want to turn Dark Potential into Jedis throwing or having their Force powers and all these kind of things. I don't want it to be that flavor. I want it to have a more... There's the realistic background, the backdrop of Dark Potential, and then you kind of throw in these cool scientific things that turn into really neat things on the tabletop as well. And so the ideas that I need is I would like short stories to be written to give ideas of how people would use these in combat or in a stealth situation or in day-to-day life. Like for example, if I could manipulate gravity, then I could theoretically... Well, you could do anything with that. I could throw down a device that increases the gravity in a local area, and all of a sudden when people try to walk across it, they get incredibly heavy and just kind of collapse to the ground. Or, it could count as difficult terrain in the actual game, or it could do other things. Or you can throw down a device that removes gravity, so when people go over it, they just float. Or you can throw a device on, you can have something that shoots a device up and then just pulls you straight towards it using electromagnetic forces or gravitational forces, and so you just kind of use it to fly from place to place, but in a more... If you've ever read Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, which is a really cool fantasy book, they push and pull on metal with their magic powers, and so they arc through the air as they're pushing and pulling. They can't actually fly, they can just push and pull on metal. And so you get all these really neat ideas behind that. So here's the contest. Write a short story set in the Dark Potential universe. This needs to be in the time of the game, so it's 100 years after the war has ended and the virus has annihilated most of the population on Earth. If you're not familiar with the background of Dark Potential, now is the time for you to get yourself into it and really start just learning more about it. Because if you don't have a good fundamental knowledge of the background, then you're not going to be able to write a story that's going to really be accurate to anything we've talked about. Now, there's still a lot of things up in the air, so you're going to have a lot of artistic license to do whatever you want, and that'll be fine. Then you can use any of the races that you want. You can talk about the Slanthos, you can talk about the Salvagers, you can make up a name for the corporation and there's a lot of the lore, the background that has yet to be developed, so you can be as creative as you want. And then we might even take some of those ideas and use them in the actual game. So what you need to do in order to enter this contest is on the MiniWarGaming forums, there is a section for Dark Potential. And within that section, there's a category called fan fiction. And in order to enter the contest, you need to post your fan fiction in that section. Okay, so that's basically the only requirement. And then what we're going to do is you'll have about 2 weeks. I'll post the full rules in a link below and when it's going to be over by, when the judging will be there. The judging will be based completely on how cool I think the story is, how well written it is, how well formatted it is. Make sure you don't just have these big, huge paragraphs. Break them up. So it'll combine your ability to write well, your grammar and all that kind of stuff, because if it's bad grammar and bad spelling, it's going to be hard to read. And then just the coolness of the ideas, and also the accuracy to what we already have developed. Now, I said you'll have a lot of artistic license, so make sure you do that. Make sure you just use your creativity, even if it's completely crazy and wacky. I might still like the ideas and maybe tone them down for the game or something. So that's what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for inspiration from you guys. You guys have given so much inspiration for the game to this point. I thought, well, why should I try to come up with all the ideas? Because that'll lack, because it's just me and my creativity. It'd be really cool if we get everybody else too. Now the winner, which will be, like I said, I'll put the date in the rules below when I'll choose a winner by. You'll probably have like 2 or 3 weeks starting now to write this short story. So make sure, if you are not fully familiar with the Dark Potential background, that you go back and watch some of the Dark Potential Developers Diaries. I'll put a link below to the playlist for the Dark Potential Developers Diaries from way back, as well as the more recent history ones. And make sure you check out the forums and read the notes that I have there. So the winner of this, first off, will have their story kind of more prominently published in some sort of way for everybody else to see. And also you'll get a full set of the first 5 miniatures that we create. Now, if we end up, the fundraiser does really well and we create more than 5, you get to pick which 5 those are. And so you'll have a full set of these 5 miniatures in the limited edition packaging. So this will be one of those perks that are in there for the fundraiser when those do come out, which hopefully will be in the next few months. So the winner will get that. And of course, recognition. And I might even throw another prize, like some store credit as well, but it's meant to be more an informal contest, but you still have some prizes. So this is for people who want to have fun and think that they have a knack at creative writing. I'd really love to see that. So when you post on the forums, it would be helpful, although not required, if the title of your post just started with contest and then colon and then the name of your short story. I don't want to make it too long, because then you won't have room for a cool name for your short story. And you can write it however you want, in any viewpoint, in any style that you want. I really don't care, as long as it's a short story. So it's not too long. It's not multiple posts. It should just be one post that'll be a long post that'll be a short story. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Or if you really want to make sure I see your questions, the link below will be to the contest rules on the forum, and you can reply to that with any questions that you have. I will be watching the comments on this video for the first little while, but then it's hard to keep up with it after that. So that's it. Stay tuned for the fundraiser that we'll be having very soon. It's been ridiculous how much feedback I've been getting, how much people are excited for this project. Like, I am pumped. I am super excited. I think we're going to be able to completely take the goal that I have and just do way better than that, which will mean that we'll have more miniatures sooner, we'll have more art, we'll have more, the rules will be developed quicker, and it'll just be awesome. It'll be fun to see just how far a project can go when the contributors are mainly the community around it. And that would just be awesome. So thank you for all your support and everything you guys have done. This is Matthew from MiniWarGaming. Happy